Hey, it's Key Creative Studio, Master Troy in Japan. Um, so I'm gonna do a look through my sketchbook. I do this every now and then, and people seem to find it interesting, and I haven't done one in a while. So, and uh, this one is not particularly that special. But I thought maybe it would be good to kind of just give you guys an idea of just of the things I've been working on. So usually I draw with two types of sketchbooks. I have this croquis Orion croquis A4 that I do for like my quick or just like rough sketches, and then I have a karst stone paper sketchbook that I like to work with, and this one usually I try to do more uh, detailed drawings in here, but this one is filled with a lot of warm up sketches actually. But anyway, so on this first page, I don't know if you could see that, but it's just a dynamic figure that I was trying to work out in terms of rhythm. So this is a kind of like heroic or like running pose, like you might see a lot, like in some like a superhero or something like that. One leg is coming forward, the other one is going back, and like one arm is like coming forward. And, it's Batman or whoever, like running at the screen towards you. The reason why I wanted to work this one out because I noticed there was a very clear rhythm between the reason why this actually works very well because if you notice, like, there's a curve here in the forward leg, but also there's a curve in the leading arm. So when you have that kind of this kind of relationship, where you have like a rhythm like that, it makes it very comfortable to look at. So that was something I was working out here, and I did it several times. Here I really exaggerated it here. Again, there's the head, and actually I abstracted it, just as directional energy. Sorry, 1 second. There's the local bell here. You can see. Sorry. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep going. That's not too disturbing. Uh. Okay. There was a sketch. Actually, this was a little bit inspired by Klimt. Actually, I was trying to do something that was a little bit more organic looking, and these are some drawings I did actually at a martial arts tournament. There were some people doing some kung fu um, forms or kata. Yeah. People have been watching my videos. They'll see a lot of barbarian kind of characters in there because that's kind of the stuff that I grew up on. So I'm always trying to work that out. This one is from Imagination, I believe, and this is based on a live model, which is Tef. Art model Tef or Tef Edelweiss. She's posted me for a lot. Actually, we did a really cool project a little while ago. So I think it was kind of like an homage to Frank Frazetta. Tef is one of these few girls around Japan that actually has a body that looks like a Frazetta girl actually. So we really had fun with that. Actually, that's Tef also too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. this is something I was working out in terms of like how like to get the likeness of somebody. Um, when you want to like draw the likeness of someone, the thing I recommend the most really are these points, which is like you want to think about the overall head shape. That's important. That's very very important. And then also you want to think about like the relationship between like the eyes and the nose, and then particularly like the shapes, the shapes of the eyes, and also like the shape of the nose as well, right? And then you can work out things in terms of like the placement of the mouth, you know. So this is like one of the key ways to um, get a likeness of somebody. It's this measuring that really does it. So okay, uh, another barbarian coming out at you. Okay. Some pelvic studies here, some anatomy studies here. This is a classic John Buscema Marvel Way kind of pose that you have, and again, I'm trying to understand, the mentality for that. These are from a model actually. That's from my imagination, but these are actually from a model, life model. So life model. It's from model. This is kind of a study of not Klimt, but a contemporary of his, Egon Schiele. I'm sure he's pronouncing his name right. He really has a really nice uh, fleshy, fleshy atmosphere of in his line, and I really like. Actually, I think this is also Egon Schiele as well. Um, a lot of his stuff is very it's erotic, but the gestures are really awesome. They're really really great. Okay, another barbarian. This is a page of me working out some likenesses. These are some girls um, that I've used in the past as my models, they perform as burlesque dancers actually. So I was doing that. There's a caricature here. This is something I've been talking about a lot recently in terms of like understanding squash and stretch as applied to like volumes, and also mm, using the bouncing ball as a way to understand like how to like apply like a weight to your drawings. Actually, I think this is maybe from a video I did not so long ago. Yeah, that's from an earlier demo. Okay. This is from Life Model. Model. These are some studies that I did. I was looking at Chris Sanders' work, and Chris Sanders really has a nice design for his women. They're almost Frazetta-like in terms of like having like very very small upper torsos, but extremely like large hips, and of course like very small, like these very um, you know very like girlish faces, where like very like large forehead, and it's almost like a Betty Boop kind of thing, because the mouth is all the way like at the bottom here, and then these big cheeks coming out like this. Not doing a good job, but something like that. Cute little nose, whatever. Yeah, but like really tiny chin. Actually, this is not a very good, because actually, no, actually this is wrong, because yeah, the cheeks actually would be like down here, like that, like a little bit lower. This sort of thing. So anyway, I was working that out. Okay. Yeah, these are like definitely like Chris Sanders kinds of girls. Yeah, they're fun. Some hand studies here. This is a composition. I think this also might be on. I think I did a live demo for this. Just a composition study here. Basically, when you do a composition, two things. One, try to make sure you do like a thumbnail. You want to try to work that out as best as possible at first, and then you want to transfer that energy into here, right? So I chose this composition because I noticed that all the figures in here were really playing against each other. For example, this guy, he's pushing in, like leaning forward, and then like, of course, like this guy, he's pushing back, right? This one is it's going in but twisting in this way, and his leg is twisting out the other way. So I thought that was interesting, and of course you have this nice rhythm here. There's another figures. I think that's made from Life Model. That's a composition sketch that I was working on. I'll come back to that. Okay. And that's pretty much it for this one. Okay. All right. I hope that was a little bit interesting. I will come back again soon with another video. Okay. Please give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. All right. Take care. Bye bye.